All right, guys, welcome to my home garage. So what we got today is a 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. I'm sure it's a lot like the Jeep Trailhawk I did. The only differences I see is the bolts are different, but let's just check out the brake setup because it looks pretty easy. So we can see we don't even have a screw to hold in the rotor on this setup. We have a simple bolt here and a simple rear caliper bolt. So I'm going to remove those. I'll let you know what size they are when I take it apart. And I'm going to take a look at the pads. There's nothing left in there. I'll show you when I get it off. But pretty much I'm going to pry back the caliper with a screwdriver. Or I'll just take it all apart first and let you guys check it out, alright? Alright guys, so here we have it. Here's our hub. Rotor's off. There's all the rust. There's what the back of our brake looks like. And there's how thin our pad is. And our front rear pad. Well, obviously they were seasoned there because one was wearing faster than the other. And that is the reason why we have to service our caliper brackets like you've seen in every brake video I've done. So right now I'm going to service this bracket, service this hub, get a new rotor on, get my new pads, make sure they're the same, and put it all back together. So this, I used a 13 mil for this. And then for the lower one, I used an 15/16 for the actual bracket bolt. So Chrysler, you know, standard, not metric, but you can make it work with a 21, I believe. But it still has a little bit of play. I don't recommend it. So let me get this done. I'll be right back. So once you clean the hub, you only want to put grease right there, just so you don't have the rotor seizing up again. Here's what our brackets look like. They're very bad. So we're going to lubricate the clean the sliders off. So what you want to do is, well, you can see the boot is completely seized there. Give me 1 second. So take a look. Obviously we have water intrusion, but our slider is lubricated nicely. We're going to clean it off. Clean all this rust off all these sliders. Get rid of all this rust, and we'll be right back. So we have calipers all cleaned up, lubricated, new shims, sliders are lubricated, new pads. That's why they need to be like this. Now we're going to take an old brake pad, depress this back in. So what we do is and you make sure, look at your old brake pad, see where that wear indicator is? That's the piston side. So make sure that your wear indicator is on the bottom because they can be on both sides. As you can see, our wear indicator on the outside is at the top, and the wear indicator is at the bottom. When we look at they're both at the top. Both wear indicators are at the top. I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yeah, both wear indicators are at the top, so you need one from each side. So just make sure you put it in correctly. Drop your old brake pad in there. Take a look how bad that is. And now we're just going to depress this in. Now that we have our piston depressed back in, we're going to lubricate contact points here and here with lubricant. And then we're going to slide it back on. So here's our finished product. Tightened up. Not too tight. This is a small bolt. You got to use your head when you tighten things. If a bolt is like this small, it doesn't take a lot of force to tighten it up, so don't use a big ratchet just to prevent yourself. Whereas that is a big bolt, so you can use a bigger wrench, bigger socket to tighten it up. And just remember how much force it took to loosen it. You need even less force than that to tighten it. So I don't know the torque specs, but it doesn't matter because it's nice and tight. Here's our new finished setup. Everything's nice and free, moving, beautiful. We use this bolt to hold the rotor while we're working. Now we can remove it. So this side is done. So now I'm going to rinse and repeat on the other side, and then we're going to get the rear done. All right, guys? Easy. Why are you paying someone to do your work? Super easy. All right, guys. So here are the rear brakes. You literally go in the vehicle menu under apps. You go to service, and then you'll see put it in parking brakes in a service mode, and then they just retract. And then all you got to do is go in the vehicle after, hit your brake, and press the parking brake, and you're back in service. And I'll show you guys that after. These brakes look exactly like the Honda Civic I just did in the rear. And if anyone who saw that 2017 Civic brakes I did, does this not look exactly like the same setup? Even the actuator's the same. Are these companies even making their own brakes anymore? Like, they're not even cheating. They're just cheating design now. They don't even want it. Everything's just generic now. Like, okay, maybe the pad is a little different, but like everything, if someone just took a picture of this, you would think it was a 2017 Civic. Anyways, I bet you it's the same Allen key that to get it off, and then the same bolt behind. So anyways, I'll take the caps off, and then it's probably an Allen head to get it off. You guys can see before me. Is it? Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, it's probably an Allen head. Let me just take a guess. I literally have not touched it yet. I'm just guessing right now. This is just a guess. This is a guess. 7mm. Oh my God. What? How did I know that that's what it was? How is that possible? Like, I'm not that smart, am I? Jeez. Anyways, that was fun. Okay, so I'll remove this bracket and flip this back. We'll get the bracket off. So it's a 7mm and then what looks like a 17. I'm not sure. I'll check once I remove the bracket so I have more access. So we'll be right back, guys. Easy, easy, easy. And of course this clip, just pry it off with a set of pliers or with a flathead. Let's see, I got one right here. And just hope it doesn't hit you in the face. So pretty much you're just gonna pry it up like that and then release. Easy, okay? As you pry up, you're gonna pull back, okay? Here, I'll show you. Alright, so let's see if I can do this like the YouTube pros, okay? So pretty much what we're going to do is pry up on this and then release. There we go. Wow, look at that. Look at me. Alright, so now it's safe for us to take the rest of it off. So once you're in this position, you're going to use a tool like this that slides inside here, and you're just going to spin it like so, and you're just going to spin it until it depresses, it screws all the way back in. And now that's how you have to do is you have to screw them in. They wind in, okay? So you use a tool like this or you're going to have a hell of a time. Alright, so now that it's screwed back in, obviously we're going to lubricate this portion. We're going to get our bracket off, swap our rotor, clean everything up, and be right back. Alright guys, so same thing in the Civic video, since these are exactly the same calipers. Scotch-Brite or very light sandpaper, just clean them off. You want to get rid of the rubber debris. Technically these aren't lubricated from the factory, but we're going to give it a little bit, not much, just a little bit, so they slide a little more easy. Just get rid of all the old rubber on there. What happens is the bushing and the caliper wears out, but who's going to ever change that? Nobody. So just a light, thin, like very thin coating, and then slide those back in, and then you're ready to put everything back together. Alright, so here's your finished product, lubricated around the hub only, not on the surface. Your clip is back in. Be careful when you tighten these slider pins, they have a tendency to want to wander. So make sure everything's straight and put it in by hand. Don't use power tools. Make sure your rear pad is the correct one. All you gotta do is look at your old pads on that side and you'll know this is the piston side with the spring and the squealer on this side. This is the other side and you'll see the squealers over here. So just make sure everything is in the right spot. Put your anti-rattle clip back in. You don't have to do anything now. Pretty much when we activate the parking brake, everything will calibrate. What we are going to do is lubricate that bleeder right there, because we know that these, exactly like the Civic, it's going to break one day when someone needs to check it. So right now I'm going to lubricate it with PB Blaster or penetrating fluid, and just make sure that hopefully someday someone needs to go in there, they can actually get in there. So I'm going to do the other side, and then we'll go over everything. And it is a 7mm Allen and an 18mm bolt. All right, good guys. Okay, so now that everything's back together, fun tip, you don't need to spin the caliper in. It doesn't need to be screwed in. You can just depress it in. Okay. You put it all the way down. I can't open the door. There we go. Oh God, barely fit in here. Okay, first step. Let's press the key on. Okay. Press our brake pedal down. And then press our parking brake. Okay. Release it again. And now we're going to press our brake pedal until it's hard. Okay, there, it's hard. Okay, here. Okay, so there you go. It automatically does it. Okay. Okay, now we can start the car. And our brake works. All right, turn off the car. All right, now we can torque the wheels. And we are done. I'll be honest. Oh my God, I can't get out of here. This car is easier to do brakes than a Honda, and it is exactly like a Honda, especially on the rear. So now we're going to torque the wheels, go for a road test, and quick video. There's no point in doing a very complicated video on brakes because it's pretty simple. That's why I just show the main parts, what bolts to use. Make sure you clean this, make sure you lubricate that, and I think you guys can easily do this. Easy. This didn't take me very long, and I didn't even lift it all the way up in the air. I actually worked just like 2 or 3 feet off the ground so I can sit on my chair. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Have a nice one.